What's up, y'all? Now, I know in recent videos I've come in support of Stephen A. Smith, as I feel like the brother should get his money. He deserves his money. He deserves that big lucrative contract that ESPN gave him because he puts in a lot of the work, a ton of the workload. I mean, he does boxing, basketball, football, college basketball. He does baseball. He does everything that ESPN would like him to do plus more, right? But see, today is sometimes where Stephen A. be losing me sometimes with this talk. Sometimes Stephen A. be talking like he a gangster and like he's just this mafia don or something like that. The way today when he was on ESPN First Take and they were talking about LeBron James potentially having turmoil with the Los Angeles Lakers organization because it is in a disarray. He doesn't know which way the organization is going, and people like LeBron James is furious. He's furious at this. He is upset with the state of the Lakers right now. He is in turmoil with them. And LeBron came out and shot down those reports by Dave McMenamin on Instagram. And then Stephen A. comes up here and say LeBron is being disingenuous. It's not really how he feels. First of all, how y'all gonna tell that man how he feels? If he says it's how he feels, you have to take his word for it. You know what I mean? Now, you can't just assume he feels some type of way just because you want him to feel that type of way. But then, nonetheless, that's cool, whatever. But then he goes on to say things like, LeBron, he want to stay out of the media. He want to stay out of the media so much. Well, the only reason we talking about him is because he went on Instagram and addressed this whole situation. No, the reason why you're still talking about LeBron James is because LeBron is the face of the NBA. I said it in several videos before. LeBron ain't even in the playoffs right now, and they got a segment about him and the Lakers every single day. They don't miss a beat. And that's not for no reason. It's because he is the driving force for ratings at ESPN, and everybody knows that. That's why they create topics to talk about him for. They create topics where otherwise there's nothing really to talk about. But that's why you talk about LeBron James. Not because he made an Instagram post. You would talk about it anyway if he didn't say anything. He hasn't been saying anything, and you still find ways to make topics about him. But when Stephen A. Smith say this, he talking like, I dare LeBron James, I challenge him to come up here and say something. Come up here. And he tries to poke fun at LeBron. The only way LeBron gonna be happy is if Rich Paul is the point guard and Maverick Carter is the GM of the whole thing in operation, and LeBron James is giving this power and that power, he's trying to poke at him. And then he say, well, come on up here. Come up here and talk to me like, Stephen A., bro. And for real, I really support you. You a dope journalist, bro. I feel like, you move the culture ahead with your journalism. You have put ESPN in a position to stay at the top with your journalism. But let's not get it confused. Well, if LeBron James come on that show, you're going to shake LeBron James' hand. You're not going to be talking gangster. You're going to say, you feel some type of way about this and some type of that. What do you say to that? You're not going to talk to him crazy and sideways. And we also know that you don't want to call him on your show for controversy or to call him out. You want him on First Take because it's going to drive the ratings up. And everybody know that. Everybody knows that. If he comes on your show, the ratings will soar through the roof just to see dialogue between him, you, and Max Kellerman. Everybody would love to see that. So we know the true reason why you're saying I challenge LeBron to come up here is because, of course, ESPN knows that you are the guy that could potentially do that. If anybody could do it, you could. So they want you to use your power after they just gave you that big contract. You got to live up to this contract, bro. We paid you this big money. Try to deliver us the content other media platforms can't get. So, of course, you're going to go out there and act like you're, being antagonizing to LeBron or like calling him out or challenging him per se. You're going to act like you want to challenge him to drive the ratings up on the show. If LeBron James comes up there, which he will not. LeBron James not coming up to ESPN First Take. He's not coming up to Undisputed, even though Shannon Sharp got a lot of love for him. Got a lot of love for the brother. Max got a lot of love for LeBron. He's not coming up there because he knows he will be put in a situation where he got to answer questions to talk about things that he may not want to talk about at all. So, including free agency and the Anthony Davis trade and all of that, he don't want to talk about that, so he's not coming up there. But we know that you want to challenge him so he can come up there and drive up the ratings. Just like Charles Barkley did the same exact thing when he was doing it on TNT. He challenged LeBron because if LeBron comes to TNT, everybody going to tune in to it and it's going to be talked about everywhere. And ultimately, they're going to drive up the ratings and they're going to get a nice fat check for doing so. In Stephen A's case, he already got that big check. They might cut him off some more bread if he called him up there. But I'm going to Stephen A. talking like he just like a mafia boss, like he talking like he just a gangster up here, like he just the biggest gangster the way he talking. I'm like, now, of course, every man, I'm not saying Stephen A. is soft or anything like that. I'm not even making those type of accusations on him. But he talking like he finna come up there and drill LeBron. Come up here, I dare him and all that. LeBron, and he know LeBron not that type of guy to engage in a back and forth with him. That's not his lane. That's not his thing. He only jumped out of body like that one time with Charles Barkley. So I'm like, Stephen A. talking like you a gangster. You know Bron ain't finna come up there. He ain't finna do none of that. And if he does, y'all gonna shake his hand. Y'all gonna have a polite conversation and you'll talk about the things and you'll address those situations in a more subtle tone. It wouldn't be the same way that you would address the situation with the LeVar Ball, because you and LeVar have some type of relationship or some type of rapport. I don't know if he has a type of rapport with LeBron, and it seems like Stephen A. has been upset with LeBron ever since LeBron came out and said that Stephen A.'s sources are invalid or is no credibility to those sources, and he felt some type of way about that. He took it personal, and I feel like after that, he's been poking little holes, and it's okay to be objective, of course. You can be objective to anybody, but it seems like his narrative concerning LeBron switched after that. If he was consistent the whole way all the way through, it would be fine. I wouldn't say, you doing this because of that. But his whole narrative about LeBron switched after LeBron said that he said something about LeBron wanting to beat Kyrie Irving, ASS. He wanted to beat him, beat his A. And what are he talking about? LeBron shot that down and said it wasn't reliable sources. And Stephen A. took that personal because he's a journalist. He said, you saying I'm not credible, so I'm going to feel this. I think he feels some type of way about that internally. But nonetheless, okay, the brother Stephen A. deserves his bread. He deserves his dollars. But I'm like, Stephen A. took that personally. He talking like he a gangster. And we know there ain't going to be no type of gangster situation. LeBron come up there. It's going to be all hands, all smiles and handshakes. And they're going to have discourse. The discourse, Stephen A., I will say this. Stephen A. will bring up challenging questions, but he'll know what lines to walk on and what lines not to cross so that LeBron wouldn't even leave the show if he came up there. That we know. So, man, that's all I got to say about that, man. I just had to talk about that, y'all. Peace.